Welcome to our deep dive into the world of enlightenment.
Specifically,
Yeah, specific.
the idea of the interplay of effort and divine grace.
Right.
And to kind of untangle that, we've got some excerpts from a discourse by Osho on the teachings of Guru Nanak.
Guru Nanak, of course, being a
Yeah.
pivotal figure in Sikhism.
Yeah. Revered for his profound spiritual insights.
And Osho, of course, being a modern spiritual teacher, brings, a unique lens to these ancient teachings.
Precisely. So we have ancient wisdom translated into modern terms.
It's like having the best translator in the world, right?
That's
So let's just jump right into the core of this paradox. We have to strive for enlightenment, but it comes as a gift.
A gift of grace.
Yeah, how do you try to get a gift? You know what I mean?
You can't. That's exactly Osho's point.
Right.
He says, if you think about trying to remember a word that you've forgotten, the more you try, the more elusive it becomes.
That is so true. And then it's like later when you're not even thinking about it.
Yes, it's
that just pops into your head.
So this is how Osho describes the problem of conscious effort in the search for enlightenment.
So it's like our effort is actually creating a block.
Creating tension, narrowing our mind.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Osho does say that effort is important, but it's more like planting a seed in the subconscious mind.
So it's not that the effort's wasted.
Right.
But we have to find a way to sort of let go of that control.
Yes. Now let's shift gears a bit to this fascinating concept from the Sankhya philosophy, which had a deep influence on Guru Nanak.
Yeah.
And that is the number 21, which represents the ultimate state of being.
21. What's so special about 21?
Well, according to Sankhya, there are two ways to reach the symbolic 21.
Okay, like two paths.
The first is through genuine self-realization.
Right, enlightenment.
Attaining enlightenment. But the other path, and this is where it gets interesting, is through the ego.
Wait, so you can reach this ultimate state through your ego?
By creating this false sense of arrival, accumulating external things.
Like possessions, titles, that sort of thing.
Exactly. You might feel like you've reached this state, but the foundation is shaky.
Gotcha. So it's like two completely different versions of 21. One's real and the other is built on like all this external
validation.
Yeah, external validation. So that makes me think, what makes up my personal 21?
Yeah, that's a question worth pondering.
Right. Am I working on the right 21 here?
Exactly. And this leads us to another point about the limitations of our efforts. Osho uses this really powerful analogy of a needle trying to cross the vast ocean.
It sounds like he's talking about the vastness of the divine.
Yes.
Compared to our little, puny effort.
Or small efforts.
Yeah.
Even with all the effort in the world, we're still just a tiny speck.
Yeah, it really puts things in perspective.
Yeah, so think about your spiritual practices.
Right.
Do they feel proportionate to this ultimate goal?
Right. Like, are we focused on the right thing?
Exactly. Because Osho also points out that even things that seem grand, like building temples or giving to charity, can actually be driven by ego.
So it's not about what we're doing. It's about where it's coming from.
It's about shedding the ego.
Yeah. Sure.
Recognizing that our actions are just a small drop in this vast ocean of existence.
It's humbling when you think about it like that.
It is. And it leads us to another key concept, surrender.
So we're putting in effort, but we're also surrendering. How does that even work?
It might seem contradictory.
It does.
But it's an integral part of the journey.
Tell me more.
Okay, Osho uses this beautiful story of Saint Teresa, who wanted to build this grand temple, but only had 2 pennies to her name.
Oh, wow.
But her faith, her surrender to a power greater than herself,
led to the temple's manifestation.
So it's not about giving up.
No.
It's about recognizing our limitations.
Recognizing our limitations and opening ourselves up to something beyond.
Yeah, something we don't even understand.
Surrender is about letting go of the illusion of control.
Yeah.
Recognizing that the divine is always present. Like a light shining constantly.
But we can't see it because we've got these blinders on.
Our own ego prevents us from seeing it.
So how do we remove those blinders? That's a big question.
That's a big question, and one we'll explore further in part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay, so you were saying right before the break that that this light is always shining.
Right.
The divine light's always there.
Always there.
But our ego, these blinders are preventing us from seeing it.
Right.
So,
So how do we remove these blinders?
Yeah.
Well, surrender plays a huge role in this.
So we're not talking about just being passive, right?
Not at all. It's about active receptivity.
Active receptivity. Yeah, it's about understanding that we're not separate from the universe.
Right, that we're part of this bigger thing.
We're part of this cosmic dance.
Yeah, it's like we're all in this dance together.
And surrender allows us to move in harmony with that music.
So it's about aligning ourselves with the flow.
Exactly.
With the divine flow.
And Osho reminds us that there's no VIP line to enlightenment.
Yeah.
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts.
It's not about, collecting all the good deeds.
No, it's about shedding the ego.
Right. And he even quotes Jesus on this, say.
He does. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will find it.
Whoa. That's
It's a powerful statement.
That's a powerful statement, yeah. Makes you think.
It does.
Am I trying to save my life, or am I willing to lose it for something bigger?
It really challenges us to look at our motivations.
Right. Like, are we doing this for the right reasons?
Exactly. Because even our efforts on the spiritual path
can be driven by the ego.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to check off all the boxes.
Right.
But we're not really changing internally.
Exactly. Osho points out that even meditating or studying scripture can be a subtle form of egotism.
So it's not just about what we're doing, it's about why we're doing it.
It's about the intention behind our actions.
Right.
So we're not the choreographer of this dance, but we are invited to participate.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So how does Guru Nanak's teachings fit into all of this?
Yeah, what specific practices or insights did he offer?
Well, he emphasized the power of chanting God's name.
Oh, like a mantra?
Yes, it's called Nam Simran in Sikhism.
Nam Simran, okay.
But it's not just a mechanical repetition of words.
Right, it's got to be more than that.
It's about merging your consciousness with the divine.
So it's about going beyond the surface level.
Exactly, it's about that deep inner connection.
Yeah, did he talk about living an ethical life?
Absolutely. Guru Nanak stressed the importance of serving others and seeing the divine in everyone.
So it's not just about sitting on a mountaintop meditating.
It's about living your spirituality in the world.
Bringing those insights into your daily life.
Exactly.
Right, like weaving it into everything you do.
Yes, and that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
When effort and grace meet.
Right, like this beautiful collaboration.
It's a co-creation.
For co-creating to the universe.
Exactly, recognizing our part in the dance.
But also surrendering to the larger choreography.
Yeah.
So it's like we're both the dancer and the dance.
And it's a constant dance.
Okay.
There will be times for effort, times for surrender.
So it's about finding that balance.
It is, and that discernment comes with practice.
Practice, right? So we have to keep showing up.
Keep showing up, keep listening to your inner wisdom.
Yeah, trusting our gut.
That inner voice that guides us.
Like our inner compass.
Exactly.
So even though it's a personal journey, we're not alone.
We're not alone. We have the teachings to guide us.
And the support of others on the path.
And that brings us to another interesting point.
Okay.
Osho's perspective on the role of a guru.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that before the break.
Yes, and it's a topic that deserves its own exploration.
Okay, well, let's dive into that in part 3 of our deep dive then. So before the break, we were about to get into Osho's perspective on gurus, right?
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic.
It is, and kind of a loaded topic, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah, definitely a bit of a minefield.
A minefield, yeah, because people have all sorts of ideas about gurus.
Right, like some see them as these mystical beings with all the answers.
Yeah, or on the other hand, you have people who are just completely skeptical.
Right, they see the whole guru-disciple thing as a power trip.
Exactly. So where does Osho fall on this spectrum?
Well, he kind of navigates between those extremes.
Okay.
He acknowledges that a true guru embodies wisdom and guidance.
Yeah.
But he also emphasizes that it's not about blind faith.
Right, so you're not just blindly following.
No, it's not about surrendering your autonomy.
Okay, so what's the role of the guru then?
Osho uses this really interesting word, catalyst.
And a catalyst.
Yeah, like the guru is there to kind of spark something within you.
Oh, I see.
They're a mirror reflecting back your own potential for enlightenment.
So instead of giving you the answers,
right,
they help you find the answers within yourself.
Exactly. And this reminds me of an analogy that Guru Nanak himself used.
Oh, let's hear it.
He said, the guru is the boat, the word is the oar, and God is the shore.
I love that. It's really powerful.
It's such a beautiful image, right?
It is. So the guru provides the tools, But it's up to us to do the work.
Yes. They're not rowing the boat for you. They're teaching you how to row.
And giving you a map, I guess.
A guidance system, yeah.
But where does grace come into this? We can't forget about grace.
Oh, grace is like the wind.
The wind.
The wind that fills the sails.
Ah, that's a good one.
It's that unseen force that moves you forward.
It's like a collaboration.
It is.
We're rowing, the guru's guiding.
And grace is providing that extra push.
Yeah, like we're all working together.
Exactly. And Osho makes this really interesting point.
Yeah.
He says that the guru's grace isn't something they just give out randomly.
Okay.
It's activated by your own sincerity.
Oh, interesting.
Your own longing for truth.
So the more we put in,
right,
the more we open ourselves up to grace.
It's like tuning a radio. You have to find the right frequency.
I see. So our efforts are like adjusting the dial.
Yeah. And the clearer the signal,
the more grace can come through.
Exactly.
Now, this all makes me think about false gurus.
Right.
How do we know if someone's the real deal?
It's a tough question.
It is. Because there are so many self-proclaimed gurus out there.
Yeah. But Osho gives us some good advice.
What's that?
He says to look for a guru who emphasizes self-reliance.
Self-reliance.
Yeah, they should encourage you to question everything.
Even their own teachings.
Especially their own teachings.
So it's not about blind obedience.
No, it's about awakening your own inner wisdom.
They want you to think for yourself.
Exactly. A true guru doesn't want followers.
Right. They want you to find your own way.
They want you to stand on your own 2 feet.
So it's not about becoming dependent on them.
It's about realizing your own potential.
Your own inner guru.
Yes, that's a beautiful way to put it.
So we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
Effort, grace, surrender, the role of the guru.
It's been a rich exploration.
It really has. What do you think are the key takeaways for our listener?
Well, I think the main thing is that the path to enlightenment is a two-way street.
Two-way street, yeah.
It requires our effort, but it also requires grace.
And we can't control that grace.
Right, we can't force it.
But we can create the space for it.
By surrendering, by putting in the work.
So it's this dance, this delicate balance.
Exactly.
And we have to trust the process.
Trust the process, trust your inner guidance.
And remember, you're not alone.
You have the teachings, you have the support of others.
And that inner wisdom, that inner guru.
Always there to guide you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
yeah,
I want to leave our listener with a final question.
A question to ponder.
If the divine is truly everywhere, as Osho says,
right,
what can you do to see it?
To remove those blinders.
To experience it directly.
Maybe the answer is closer than you think.
Keep exploring. Trust the journey.
And until next time,
keep diving deep.
Please like, share and subscribe.